would like to speak today and you haven't already done so, please fill out the green slip at the rear of the room and hand it to the city clerk. She will call out your name. As I mentioned earlier, we would appreciate it if you keep your comments to 3 minutes.
Tiffany Smith, 2410 Louisiana Street, Beaumont, Texas.
Hello, Council and Mayor Ames. It's good to see you all again. After 2 years, here we are with the same thing, in-home daycare. As we understood it, the operating permit and the special use permit and the fire inspections were necessary to do business in our homes. These in-home daycares are not large money-making operations. In-home daycares are small, family-style environments, often run by mothers and grandmothers, seeking to provide an alternative to the large child care setting. The children in these home settings are the children of hardworking people who often cannot afford the pricier large facilities. As community helpers, I implore you to once again keep in mind the children. Their futures are in peril every time you choose to raise the hand of the city against these little in-home daycares. If these applicants are not in violation of the 8 criteria that we set forth in the ordinance, why are they being limited to 5? What's the difference between 5 and 12, you may ask? The difference is in the provider being able to make ends meet. The ability of the provider to make ends meet is important. One new provider has already decided to throw in the towel because she thinks that she can't talk to the city council. I'm saying that you can talk to the city council. You guys have been fair with us, and I know you'll be fair in this situation. We're a humble, small group with our noses to the grindstone. We have neither time nor inclination to continuously interrupt our lives and the lives of the children we care for due to ambiguity in the process being utilized by people who understand the system the best, namely the bureaucrats who run different departments. We hope that the importance of the work we are doing is not lost on you. We hope that we don't have to keep going through this continuous upheaval that seems to come out of the permitting office. Simple clarification in writing as to exactly which permits are needed for in-home daycare would be the solution to this. The city of San Antonio, as well as hundreds of other cities across the nation, provide some form of application and or documentation to this effect. That this would save time and taxpayer dollars. You guys have real things that you're taking care of, like all the stuff we listened to today. You don't need to hear from us over and over again other than to apply for these special use permits. And if we're in violation of anything in regards to the ordinance that's there, then we have to deal with it. The special use permit should not be used as a battering ram against each new person who tries to start an in-home daycare. It needs to be used as what it's supposed to be used for. A set of criteria by which you decide, is this the right person or right location for this little in-home business? Thank you. I'm sorry, I was so nervous.
That's okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Shakiz Brown, 1450 West Lucas Drive, Beaumont, Texas.
Good evening.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Shakia Brown. I own and operate Miss Nikki's Child Care located at 1450 West Lucas here in Beaumont. I've applied for a special use permit to operate my home daycare, which is licensed and registered by the state of Texas to have a maximum of 12 kids. The state does require me to count my own 3 kids in the ratio anytime they are in a home, which means I would only have a maximum of 9 kids. Prior to opening on June 1st, 2012, I owned and operated an insurance agency here in Beaumont, which I sold after thinking carefully about it into what I wanted to do, and that's care for kids and take care of kids in my home so that I could be home with my own kids. I came to the city first as a starting point, planning and zoning, before going to the state and registering, getting any inspections, or doing any updates to my home. I was told that all I had to do was get a fire inspection. At that time, I paid for the fire inspection. The fire marshal was there the next day and inspected. I was told that as long as I operated with 5 kids or less, that I did not need a special use permit. However, after my neighbor made a complaint, the planning and zoning officer showed up at my door about 3 weeks after I had been operating, saying that they had gotten a complaint from a neighbor that said I had too many kids in care. At the time this inspector showed up to my door, there was only 4 kids in care and myself. The next day, I received a call from the city of Beaumont Planning and Zoning that stated I need a special use permit, even though I have 5 or less kids, which previously, prior to the neighbor's complaint, I did not need this permit. My neighbors made complaints directly to me that I have too much traffic and that I will bring down the value of his home by having a home daycare. The same neighbor has also stated that he was trying to purchase a home for 3 months prior to me moving there, and that he was very upset that he did not buy the home. West Lucas is a very busy street, full of traffic all day long. So the few parents that come in and out of my circle driveway that do not complicate the traffic is not an argument. The design, location, and arrangements of my circle driveway provides easy access to parents coming and going. My home daycare is not injurious to use or the enjoyment of the other properties in the area. My request to the City Council is that my special use permit is issued based on me meeting the zoning ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Vernon Durden, 2110 West Ferry Road, Beaumont, Texas.
Good afternoon, City Council, Mayor, and City Manager. I want to compliment you all on a lot of good hard work you've been doing. The budget last week, lots of the fund balances came back with $1 million pluses, which is good. Firefighters contract was awarded. It was done very professionally and efficient. And on September 15th, the Cops and Kids, I thought you all would be mentioning that every week, Cops and Kids. The new police chief is trying to create a better relationship with the community and kids. We want to have kids saying, I want to be a policeman one day. I want to be able to walk out and hear a kid say, how do I become a policeman? So our fire chief, keep calling him fire chief, our police chief is trying to create a better relationship with the community. And I would like for you all to mention that every Tuesday until September 15th so that our community will be aware of that. Today we heard about the fund balances, and we also heard about the obligation bonds. Last week it was approved for the City Council to participate with BISD and the crossing guards. But one of the things I heard, and maybe it's a misstatement by the city manager, that he would recommend the city administer it because the city pays a cheaper rate. Now, everywhere else there have been balances, there have been overages, and everyone else is getting pay increases. So basically what the city manager is saying, if the city of Beaumont administered it, those workers out there who stand in rain, sun, and wind will get a decrease in pay. So I know he wants to do the right thing. I know he wants to do the right thing, right? Right?
Mr. Durden. Mr. Durden,
Yeah.
please.
I know he wants to do the right thing, right? So, if the city decides to administer it, I recommend that their wages either increase or stay the same. I know it's hard to hide what your feet showing, and you really can't. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Is there any other citizen who wishes to speak today? If there is no one, we will adjourn into executive. I'm sorry, we don't have an executive session.